Hello, everyone. I have decided to give the YouTube process another go. It's been 7 months. Time flies. Before I begin the sewing instructions, let me pop a few slides in for the new viewers to get an idea of the type of doll clothes that I make. I like to demonstrate that I can take the basic pattern bundle and make anything. I truly appreciate the wonderful support I have received from you all in the past. Your encouragement has meant a great deal as I continue to share my creative journey. I am eager to keep producing and sharing more videos within my unique niche on YouTube. Your continued engagement inspires me to bring fresh content, and I look forward to connecting with you through upcoming projects. If you are interested in purchasing my patterns, I now offer them exclusively through my own website and online store. I no longer sell on Etsy. I have uploaded my 3 bestsellers onto my own shop, where I can provide a more direct and personalized experience. I have 15 plus patterns stored in my laptop that I will eventually upload. Please keep checking back. If you want to, you can pause the slide to read the information about my store's payment process. It is very similar to the Etsy checkout. You use PayPal. My YouTube analytics show that most of my viewers like the capsule wardrobe videos for the 18-inch doll. I often browse Pinterest looking for stylish outfits for inspiration. My challenge is to recreate the capsule wardrobe pieces and transform them into doll-size versions using my bundle pattern. For this video, I will use the outfits pictured here. I love bright colors and I love to mix patterns within the fabric. Of course, you can choose more subtle fabrics. This is where I show you how to take the bundle pattern and make a few changes in order to recreate a similar Pinterest-inspired look. Take, for example, the vest. The vest has a wrap-style front. I will be able to show you how I can adjust my pattern to make a similar look. First, you need the pattern, and then a piece of paper, cardstock, anything you want to use. Place the pattern on the fold. Decide how long you want the vest. I held the pattern up to my doll and I decided I wanted it a little bit longer and I wanted the armholes a little bit longer also. This is where you decide if you want that wrap front or you just want to make the pattern as it is. Now I'd like to show you an easy way to make the back of the garment. Sew the side seams and the shoulder seams on your practice outfit. I want to cut a rounded back neckline. Try the vest on the doll to make sure that you don't need any extra adjustments. I used a linen napkin from the thrift store to make the vest. Remove the shoulder seams. I'm going to take my actual practice outfit and use it as my pattern. I'm placing it on the lining that I'm going to use for the vest. Then I'll trace around this practice piece with chalk. You're sewing on the chalk lines. And then when you cut, you're cutting a seam allowance. And be sure to clip the corners and clip the curves. That makes a huge difference in your garment lying flat. On the two front pieces, you're going to turn down about, oh, I don't know, what does that look like? A little over 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4. Turn to the right side, and you will give it a nice press. Make your corners as sharp as you can. Well, here's a good oops. I had a spatial brain glitch and I sewed it opposite, the opening opposite of my plan. You're just going to slip this inside, and on the other side, you'll fold this down also. And you can sew it. You can stitch in the ditch right here, this little seam line, or you can just sew it by hand. I usually sew it by hand because it's really tiny. If this is the first time you've ever sewn anything in your life, I would advise you not to start with this item. The process is quite ambitious. Make the basic pattern with the YouTube instructions shown here. Here's the finished product. I'm still undecided about the closure type. I will point out a few details on the vest construction. I hemmed the outer vest and the lining separately. I used an iron-on fusible interfacing tape to secure. With my method of sewing construction, the vest becomes reversible. Pause the video to read the instructions. I didn't have a Boy George graphic, so I just made a Dog George graphic. Pause the video to read the instructions. If you want to add a faux trim, add it before you sew the inseam. Pause the video to read the instructions. Because I wanted my stripes to match, I traced my pattern onto the freezer paper. You can iron the freezer paper onto the fabric and it will not slip. So you can see where I got a pretty good match with my stripes. Leave the freezer paper on the fabric and you can sew around the freezer paper. I will sew the shoulder seams, under the arms, and down the sides. At this point, you can cut where you have just sewn, leaving 1/4 of a seam allowance. While the freezer paper is still on the fabric, cut the excess fabric at the sleeve openings, the bottom of the garment, and the rounded neckline. I think my method of sewing is just common sense. It's just a matter of sewing before you cut. Again, I want to match my stripes when I insert the sleeves. At least I want them to match in the front. So again, I'm going to use the freezer paper. Doll clothes You can get away with not having exact matches, but people clothes, that's a big no-no. Needs to match. Okay, and I'm going to sew it. I can't make a capsule wardrobe without my famous, insert quotes, sock transformation. Sew some shoulder seams and leave an armhole and sew down the sides. I love the sock's soft texture, and it looks like a knitted top.